Salakia Akim, I couldn't even record that, you know. A couple Edomites came up, you know. I couldn't record. I was too much in the spirit, man. I just had to let it, you know, let them know, okay? Because the Most High only came, he only sent his son back to deliver the Israelites, man. He didn't send his son back to deliver the Edomites, the heathen. He's coming to save us from our enemies, man. All right? Why would he deliver the enemies he's coming to save us from, man? Does that make sense, man? Right? You have a son. He's being beat up by, being jumped by a group of people. You're coming to save your son, man. You're coming to take your son out of that, man. And probably beat whoever's touching your son. All right? Probably beat up whoever's touching your son. You're not coming to save them, all right? Because they're not the ones in trouble first and foremost, and they're not your son. Okay? Let me get Zechariah. Okay? Zechariah. This is Zechariah 2 verse 8. This is Zechariah. This is Zechariah 2 verse 8. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you, toucheth the apple of his eye. Alright, so anyone who touches us, the Israelites, toucheth the apple of God's eye, man. Okay? So did not the Edomites touch us, man? Did not they wreak hell upon us? Right? So what do you think the Most High is going to do to them, man? What do you think, who you ignorantly call God is going to do to those people? And not only them, but the rest of these nations, man. The Ishmaelites, the so-called Arabs, man. The Elamites, the so-called East Indians, man. Right? The Moabites, the so-called Chinese. The Ammonites, the so-called Japanese, man. All these different nations, man, they're all going to pay, man, for messing with the Israelites, man. All of them, man. All right? Because we're God's chosen people, according to the Bible, man. Okay? And there's going to be hell for each one of these nations, man. And none of their gods are going to be able to save them, man. All right? The only one true power is the power of Israel, man. And that's our power, man. All right? And if you don't descend from us, then that's your problem, man. Okay? This is Zechariah 2 verse 8 again. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. It says nations in plural, so it's not just Edom, man. These other nations spoiled us as well, man. Because we were scattered throughout these different nations. Okay? For he that toucheth you, toucheth the apple of his eye. Alright? So that proves to you that what? That these other nations are going to have to pay as well, man. Alright? We get on Esau because Esau's the main one who's going to pay, man. He's going to pay the worst. The Edomites are going to pay the worst. But these other nations are going to pay as well, man. They're going to have a period of punishment as well. Okay? That 1,000-year period. Okay? Because what? All these different nations had a hand in putting us, had a hand in us being in captivity, man. Okay? So all of them have to pay. It's as simple as that. Let me get Deuteronomy. Because we were scattered through all these different nations, man. We weren't just scattered in America, in Jamaica, and in the islands of South America. Nah, man. We were scattered through all these different nations, man. Okay? In the land of Elam and in East India. You have some of our people called the Untouchables. All right, they're treated like shit out there. All right, you got in the Arab land, you got Israelites out there. All right, you got in Vietnam, you have Israelites out there. All right, we're scattered throughout all these different nations. All right, this is Deuteronomy 28, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone, man. All right, so we were scattered through all these different people. It says through all people. Okay, so we know that our people are amongst all these different nations, man. And guess what? Some of our people, a lot of our people are going to look like these different nations, man. Why? Because they were mixed and mingled among them. Okay, so just because you look like a different nation, just because you look like a so-called Chinese, doesn't mean you could be an Israelite. All right, if your seed goes back through your father's line to an Israelite, to a so-called black man, right? That means you're an Israelite. Okay, if you or a Latino, Native American, that would make you an Israelite. Okay, we even have a lot of people who look like so-called white people who are Israelites. Okay, who classify themselves as Caucasian, but their seed goes back to the Israelites. Okay, it's all about the seed at the end of the day, man. All right. The reason we have to break it down into so-called white people, so-called black people, is because that's what this what it's been broken down into, man. No one's gonna understand if I say Edomites, Judites, Ishmaelites. They ain't gonna understand that. So we have to break it down so the people can understand. But at the end of the day, we were scattered amongst all these different nations, man. Okay? And that's one thing that some of these camps can't get. Okay? That we were scattered amongst these different nations. Alright? Let me read that again. This is Deuteronomy 28:64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other. Alright? So we're scattered, man. Okay? There's certain places where there's more Israelites than others, man. For example, the West Africa, there's a lot of Israelites there, man. And most of those people in West Africa are Israelites. Okay? Alright? But then you go to the central, you go to the east, right? You go to the south, what? You have Hamites, alright? Canaanites, you have Philistines, you have different nations who are not a part of us, man. Who are totally different from us. Okay? You go down to southern Italy, man. A lot of those people are Israelites, man. A lot of those southern Italians are Israelites. That's why I told that guy which part of Italy he's from. He said he was from the middle. Okay? But through the Spirit, I believe he was an Israelite too, man. Okay? But there's a lot of our people that are there too, because what? The Moors took over that land, man. The Moors, which were Israelites, so-called black men. All right? They took over that land. They destroyed them. They killed the men. All right? And they slept with the women, man. All right? And what happened, man? Those people they had that in their bloodline, man. All right? So there's a lot of people out there who their forefathers are actually Israelites, man. Okay? So that's what it means by when we're scattered amongst all people, and that's what it means when it says He will go through all nations and He will deliver people from all. He would deliver all nations. It's talking about the Israelites amongst all nations. Okay? Because our people were scattered amongst these different nations. Okay? Let me get Isaiah 11:11, man. Okay? Okay, this is Isaiah 11, verse 11. Oh, shit. Yeah, this is Isaiah 11, verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set His hand again the second time to recover the remnant of His people. All right, the first time He recovered the remnant of His people was from Egypt, man. Right? You read about excuse me. You read about Moses, okay, and taking the children of Israel and splitting the sea. All right, that was the first time He delivered our people, man. All right, out of the hands of the Egyptians. Okay. So now we're reading about the second deliverance. What's going to happen? Okay. And it shall come to pass that the Lord, shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set His hand a second time to recover the remnant of His people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. All right? So the Israelites are going to be scattered amongst all these different areas, man. All right? And guess what? A lot of them are going to come looking like these different nations, but they're going to be part of us. Okay? That's the difference. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the seed line. It's all about what your forefather goes back to. Okay? If your forefather goes back to an Edomite, I don't care if you have an afro, I don't care if you're dark as hell. If you have a forefather that's an Edomite, then you're an Edomite, man. Okay? You're not of this nation. I don't give a damn. Okay? Because it's all through the seed of the Father, man. Alright? That's what it's all about. Okay? And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. So that shows you right there, the kingdom of Judah is scattered through the four corners of the earth. Alright? So we know that they're going to come from all these different places looking like these different nations, man. Alright? Because Jake was amongst these nations. And of course, you know, Jake likes to have sex. Jake likes to have children. So he had children with these different nation women. Okay? But the children that came out were still Israelites, man. Because the seed is of the Father, man. Whatever the Father is, that's what the child is, man. Okay? So no matter what, no matter which woman we lay down with as Israelite men, they're going to come out as Israelite children, man. Alright? They're going to be sons of God. They're going to have talent. Alright? They're going to be able to dance. They're going to be able, whatever, man. Whatever comes with being an Israelite, they're going to be able to do. Alright? That's it, man. Because what? It's the seed of the Father. Matter of fact, let me get Numbers 1 and 21. Okay? Because this world right now is in a bunch of confusion, man. You ask somebody where they come from, they say, I'm half this, quarter this, a third this. There's no such thing, man. Alright? The nation, what you are, is determined by who your forefather is. Okay? This is Numbers 1 and 21. Salakia, not Numbers 1 and 21. What's that? Numbers 1 and 18, I believe that. Numbers 1 verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the month, of the second month, and they declared their